Finish what you start. Finish what you start. Every endeavor, every undertaking that we or any person takes involves a start and a finish. Finish what you start.
Welcome back to the neighborhood family. I am your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, and I want to thank you for tuning in to Happy Hood, the podcast. This is where we connect, cultivate, and build a meaningful community that is centered around health, agape, power, institute. Happy Hood, it is a purpose-driven lifestyle. Family, neighbors, what is going on? I am just so excited that you decide to join us again here in the neighborhood as we do another edition of Happy the Podcast, Finish What You Start. This is where we talk to very amazing people, dynamic individuals that are willing to share their how-tos as well as just their overall experiences that has helped them, that has shaped them, that has molded them to be who they are today and to live a purpose-driven life. And our guest today truly embodies that. I think this is truly going to be an amazing conversation. I would say it will be something that will be centered around the power of self-discovery. You know, the power of really having a growth mindset. You know, and I'll probably have to put that in hashtag growth mindset. Individual, she is a multi-faceted business woman. She's a personal development, mind, body, and spirit advocate, a lifelong learner. She's a successful business owner, as I said, providing new life-changing teachings and leadership. Award-winning author, feature on the Huffington Post, CBS Radio. She has worked with millions of, I won't say millions, but hundreds of thought leaders, a certified heart and math mentor, and the creator of the successful Craziness to Clarity method, and highly rated and long-standing international radio show host of the Gratitude Café, positive radio to feed your soul. Happy family, please give a warm welcome to the neighborhood, Miss Sue Lundquist. What's going on?
I feel like there should be this drum roll. Bring it! Jay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Boy, that was a great intro. Did I write that or something? It sounds so
hey, it is very, and I kind of skipped over. I was looking at two things, but again, happy family. I just want to let you know this is truly going to be a wonderful conversation, as I have read through Sue bio and listened to her podcast. Definitely please go listen to Gratitude Cafe. Again, a very experienced leader of herself that I think really is going to give us some really great how-tos to finish what you start. So what is going on all the way from Bend, Oregon?
Bend, Oregon, and it's beautiful here. I'm getting ready to actually go outside and enjoy the sun and the earth and just
yes,
get my clarity and my gratitude on.
Mm-hmm.
I love your shirt. I know before the show we talked about that. I want to say hello and blessings to all the Happy Hood, all of your brothers, your sisters, your moms, your dads, your kids. And Jay, thank you so much for stepping in the rink and providing this platform, right? I mean, that's why I have my international radio show. It's to provide a platform where we can come together in community, in collaboration, and to learn from a safe place. And I use my words specifically, in a safe space. Because if we feel judged, if we do not feel safe, I know I'm not sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. You cannot be authentic in that. So I think this, again, as you create this safe space, to be who you are, to continue to bring your best, to continue to develop or evolve the best of you. So yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Where should we start? Where should we start? I guess as I read through your, as you have put it, trauma into transformation, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the different things that you experienced, especially as a young child. And I believe that who we are today has a lot to do with how we were, how we grew up, and how we just evolved throughout the years, right?
Right.
And for you to be in this space where you are able to cultivate a type of learning around self-discovery, around, I love how you put to reclaim and redesign your life. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, and really just different things that you experienced, early on, that you truly believe was really, maybe at the time you didn't know, but it was like your calling card, to kind of help you to be who you are today.
Thank you, Jay. And yes, calling cards, slaps upside the head. The universe, God, whatever, purple chopsticks, my loves, if that's what you're going to show up and be a beautiful person, then do it. Right. And I say that on my radio show because it's a universal love for me. It's universal love. It's universal spirit and source. So it's a frequency. So where I'm going with this is, the trauma part, and Jay, if I could just kind of back up a little bit. When I talk about trauma and my life's journey, my soul's journey through this, there's the quote that says, we teach what we most need to learn, that pops up, that's been kind of a residual. I didn't know it back then. But
of course.
Oh yeah. The trauma that I've experienced, it's the abuses. And I'm just going to, as an adjective to describe, and it's important that you hear this and the audience hear this, because the traumas, and I use it as an adjective to describe, because there's no emotional charge anymore. There's what's called a refractory period. And we know these people, I call them the Eeyore syndromes, that live in that fear. Well, that happened to me 8 years ago. I'm still in that refractory period. I'm still in that fear. I'm still in that trauma. So you spin out and you go down the rabbit hole and you keep going through your past. So it has been a lifelong journey for me to lean into that fear, lean into the traumas and the residual stuff that comes off of trauma, right? Abuses. Mental, physical, psychological, spiritual, sexual, all of this stuff. And I say that to you because I can come from a completely compassionate, empathetic understanding if you're going to bring me these types of traumas. And I say that with love. It doesn't diminish anything that anybody's gone through. You hear that in me, right? It's just to say, hey, you know what? I've been there. I got you, let's work through this. So the trauma has brought me so many life lessons, so many opportunities now that I say, opportunities of growth, opportunities to step into a purposeful life. We are talking about purposeful life. We're talking about passion, triumph. Resilience is a real big one for me. Resilience. And I know that's one of my superpowers. It's bouncing back and being very resilient in a loving, respectful, compassionate way. The things that I have overcome in my past has brought me where I am today. And the basis of that, Jay, is gratitude. I am thankful that I had abandonment issues. I am thankful that there was abuse, because it taught me so much about myself and overcoming myself, the communication, the deliberate, purposeful walking in my talk and learning these life lessons. It's been this just this drive in me that says, oh no, you're going to self-regulate. You're going to figure this out. You're going to have different habits and habituations. You're going to change your nervous system. And I can get into a little bit of the neuroscience of it, because when we start changing, we've got these beautiful neural pathways in the brain. And this was really important for me to see, because my experience and my traumas were internal. It wasn't like I was overcoming a lump on my skin that I could see it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
which I've seen miraculous healings over
Mhm.
my life, which has been incredible. Mine was, I've got to change my habits. I've got to change what I'm thinking. That drunk monkeys, that bad roommate in there. We got
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
change that up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's neural pathways. So when you create a habit, there's these neural pathways that are firing. And when you start rewiring and refiring, they change a different pathway. It's literally, you can Google it and you can see it. It's scientifically
Mhm.
proven when you change a habit. So that was really tactile and
Yeah.
juicy for me. So
Mhm.
the habituation and stepping into that change, you alluded to reclaiming and rediscovering and redesigning. That is what I'm doing. Those are the tools and the real life, real time tools to self-regulate in the moment. I don't know about you, Jay, but I don't have time to do a 4-hour meditation on said mountain. Or, I mean, I've done it, not on a mountain, but I've done 4.5, 5, 6, 7-hour meditations. I have,
Mhm.
and they're
Mhm.
super powerful.
Yeah.
However, we know this. We got stuff happening to us right here, right now, which means it could be a trigger from a past. And
Mhm.
yes, when you say stop triggering me or you're triggering me, guess what? It's all you. It's not them.
Yeah.
They have no idea what your experience led you to have that trigger.
Mhm.
So if you find yourself saying that, I'd say take the mirror out, take a good look, and lean into what that is. So
Yeah.
where I'm jumping around here because I've got
You're
so
good.
much I want to share with you. The neural pathways and breaking the habits and truly focusing on and making it a practice.
Say that again. Practice.
Making it a practice. You have to have the practice in place
Mhm.
before shiitake hits the fan.
Mhm.
And I have these words because I have FCC rules on my radio show, so I have to plant different words in there.
I
So,
like that.
right? Yeah, you get it. Okay. So going into that change and that neural pathways and knowing that you are making those changes, there was something that was, I'll come back to it, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
there was something so powerful I was going to say within that. The triggers and reclaiming yourself, but above and beyond all these thought leaders and the Tony Robbins of the world or the
Mhm.
Dr. Joe Dispenzas of the world, who I've been studying and working with for over 13 years. And that has been an incredible learning experience for me. Even though with all of these incredible thought leaders, I had to step back and go, well, what if I don't know what love means to me?
Wow. Wow.
What if my experience has not taught me the love that's genuine and authentic to me today?
Mhm.
And I want to repeat that, authentic and genuine, because those are anchor words for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this authentic and genuine to me? Am I showing up
Mhm.
authentic and genuine?
Are you showing up authentic and genuine?
Mm,
That you know what? As you were saying, so a couple of things kind of triggered the mind. As you mentioned, gratitude, that you were thankful that you went through those things, and when I hear that, and again, happy family, again, as I kind of think about what can be some of the thoughts of someone that is pretty much hurting at this
mhm.
moment, like how could you be thankful, and I just want to say, on every side of hurt, of brokenness, is liberation, is freedom, and when you're able to, as you say this in, or you have said this in some of your things you have on your website, you didn't allow any of those things to define you,
Mhm.
you know is
Now,
almost
mind you, Jay, they did define me back then,
yeah, of course.
until you overcome yourself, right?
Of course, right? Of course, like it's those stages, right? It's the stages of freedom, the stages of reclaiming, right? To
Right.
where you don't put those things completely away and say, "Hey, I did not go through that." Or it's not as if you're in denial, but he's like, "It was part of my story. Actually, it was chapter 4." But guess what? What happens in chapter 5, in chapter 6? Like, keep reading the book, keep writing the book, somebody,
Yes. And
you
I
know?
would like to put a pin in what you were just said,
Yes.
Jay, about that, because those people that are in that pain right now. And for them to sit here and listen to me go, well, I'm thankful for my pain. They're going to be like, there might be an expletive or yeah, right, sister. I don't believe anything you're saying. You know what? I was stuck in the why is this happening to me?
Wow.
Why, if there's a God? So I wrote this. So I wrote my why in my mission statement, and it is why so much pain? If there is a higher power out there, why is there so much pain? And do you see why am I in so much fear? Why is there so much abuse? And then I said, kind of flipped the switch a little bit. And I said, oh, I'm going to take my power back. When I decided that it was my choice, this is the purposeful life that I'm putting the pin in. When I chose to take accountability and responsibility for how I am showing up in my world, that was my flip. I'm like, I don't have to act like that. I don't have to feel like that.
Yeah.
And P.S., those whys are external.
Yeah.
Put the mirror on and come in.
Ooh.
Why is that happening to me? Turn it in. And you talk and educate your leaders and your people of the Happy Hood about living a purposeful life. You hear the media, live a purposeful life. All of that. The purpose starts with you.
Starts within. Yeah.
Starts within, and accountability and responsibility. And that could be a big pill to swallow. I know it scared the Kurtrufus out of me. Oh wait, I have to overcome my fear, and then I have to be thankful for it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I guess with that, and I told you, family. I told you this is gonna be good. I told you, right? I told you. As you mentioned, when you had that moment of, you know what, it stops here, right? I'm reclaiming. I'm taking responsibility, and I'm taking accountability and making sure that I don't have to show up like this. You know, I don't have to show up like this. And I do want to say one thing about that. Family, that doesn't mean you don't have to show up broken. You know, that doesn't mean you have to show up with everything's all right, because that's when you're masking. All right. But that's meaning that you get to show up. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. You know, being genuine and authentically you. You know, and Sue, I would love to hear, like, what was that moment? Like, what was the catalyst that really took you and said, you know what? Enough is enough. This is it. You know, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of feeling this way. Like, what was that moment in your life? What events occurred that you say, you know what? I'm drawing a line right here.
Great question, Jay. And I would have to say so many.
Yeah.
So many. If I could pinpoint it, you know, there's a ladder of experiences, right? There's a ladder of experiences in life, and where these life experiences, whatever they are to you, where they lead you.
Yeah.
And within those ladders of experiences, I think there was a big catalyst. I know that the biggest of the catalysts was giving birth to my children. And I say that specifically because I was living my life for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, shiitake. I have this beautiful soul that I have to show up in love. I don't even know what love is.
Yeah.
What are my personal values?
Yes.
So I was talking and alluding earlier about all these incredible thought leaders, even above and beyond everything that they're teaching. For me, I had to step back and go, I have to get clear. I don't know what love is. And in addition to that, because I'm in fear, my body, my chemicals, everything is in hyper alert. So honestly, I'm not in homeostasis. I can't really hear everything that you're saying. I can't retain it. right? So going back to your initial question and being able to really pinpoint, it was giving birth, figuring out what my example of who I am and how I'm showing up, not only for myself, but for my children. And I say a little disclaimer here because I know walking through the trauma, if I didn't know how to show up for myself, I sure as heck was going to show up for my children.
Yeah.
And that was part of my momentum. That was part of my willpower.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yes. Yes.
It is so okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's something that keeps popping up for me, Jay, when we're talking to the family, the happy family, and all that's listening here. When you're in, I call it the bridge of initiation, or the crossing the bridge.
Okay.
Life is full of initiations, conversations, whatever that may look like for you. Have the CCs in life. I totally downloaded this or coined this a few years ago on my show. And it's have the CCs in life, and that's compassionate curiosity. Now, if you can come at that situation with the CCs, get compassionate for yourself and others, and get really curious. It takes the sting. Do you want to have a conversation with resentment and anger, or do you want to have a conversation with compassion and curiosity? What feels better to you, Jay?
One feels more authentic. You know, one feels very authentic and belonging. That's another word. Yes, safe. Yeah. It feels very safe.
If we can have a conversation from compassion and getting really curious without the lingering resentments and the triggers and the stuff, you're going to have such a deeper, intimate relationship, not only for yourself, but with the other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, other people, all type of people, you know.
All types of people. All types.
Yeah. Definitely. When you mentioned when you had your child, you know, that like it was, because I hear that often, you know, and I have two kids, a daughter and a son. And something you say about you almost are able to, you get a new understanding around love.
Oh, totally.
You know, and to your point, I know for me, and many people have said similar things, as when you have that kid, when you have your kids, it's almost you see yourself, and different things or different triggers start to come up in your childhood that you really now are able to take a moment and face them, you know, and really start to unlearn these different things. And to your point, showing up for your kids. And again,
that could be different, right?
Yes.
And that's okay. That's where I'm at.
Yes.
If there was something that triggered you and you're like, I'm not going to do that. Guess what? You have a big fat permission slip that says, change it.
Yes.
Change it.
Yes.
You don't have to do it. Just because it was done like that doesn't mean you have to keep doing it that way.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, like boom, right?
Drop the mic. All right, see ya.
All right, like you don't have to do it that way.
No.
You know, you do not have to do it that way. And I think some of the things that I enjoyed as a kid and really at moments really trying to replicate that is when my parents was very authentic. And this is again when I talk about being authentic, the showing up, right? I grew up, I'm a PK, preacher's kid, you know. So I grew up in a home where there was a standard of living, you know, and a very high standard of living. And there were many times that I did not see, when I talk about being authentic, the vulnerability of my parents around the different things that, you know, the mess ups in life, right?
Yep.
And one thing I was always enjoyed as I got older, because I was able to humanize them to where that they're not just preachers, ministers, like they're people, right?
Yes.
And with my kids early on, I saw myself trying to get this standard trying to be the standard for them. But again, happy family, when you showing up, it's showing up with telling your kids when they ask you a question, you know what? I don't know. I
Be
don't know the answer.
honest. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Sue, it was times where it was so hard for me to say, I don't know.
I'm proud of you for that. I'm so proud of you for that.
You know?
Practice the I don't know, because you don't have to know.
You don't have to
really
know.
don't.
And the permission slip that you talked about, like you have you have a big permission slip, you know, to say, I don't know.
I don't know. And that's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
And you know what? Make a game out of it. If it's with a conversation with your child, babe, I don't know. Let's go figure it out. Where do you think we should go? So what you're doing is you're teaching them self-regulation. You're teaching them problem solving. And you are bonding. It is beautiful. And you're creating a safe space for them to come and have those conversations with you.
Yeah.
Oh, mom, dad, I don't know about this. It opens up so much communication.
Yes.
Because you just set the example to them to say, it's okay, I don't know. Let's go figure it out.
Let's go figure it out together. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, goosebumps.
Yeah. So powerful. So powerful.
So powerful.
Yes. Yes.
So
Sue, you kind of mentioned this early on, and we talked about this before the interview, and I told you, and happy family, you know, my word for the year is clarity, you know, and again, I think as you mentioned, the moment of clarity for you, right? When you thought about, you know what, enough is enough, right? You know, enough is enough.
Stops here.
Yeah, it stops here, and where you have put together a wonderful method around craziness to clarity, you know, and I want you to kind of talk to us a little bit about that, especially from the perspective of one, let's define clarity, right? Let's define clarity. And how does that relate to living a purposeful life, right? You know,
It's one and the same.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is. And it's one and the same in that, because there's a little caveat there.
Yeah.
You have to have clarity to be on purpose. And I speak to, there's three phases of transformation, and it's a little play on words that I use. I created it because I like acronyms. And it's a forward moving process, and it's called Act Now in Your Life. Awareness, clarity, transformation. Within the awareness, which everything that I teach, it has got to be number one. Has got to be number one. And I don't know about you, Jay, and to all the beautiful happy family, I know I have stuck my head in the sand and I have dragged my feet kicking. I know that sounds weird, drug my feet kicking, but still someone's, you know, showing me the gold bullion. I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But where I'm going with this is you have to have the awareness. And as soon as you have the awareness, you then go into the clarity, the education.
Yeah.
The clarity, the teacher will appear when you are ready, because you've had the awareness.
When you are ready, yes.
The teacher will appear. The clarity is you creating that atmosphere, that lifestyle of getting clear on who you are, how you're showing up. I also I've got a thing called the PCC. It's your personal code of conduct. And it was something that I created based on parenting and being a new mom. How am I showing up? What is my personal code of conduct if that didn't work in the past, right?
Yeah.
Again, it starts with the awareness, then it goes into clarity. And then it goes into, with the education, then it goes into transformation. And that transformation of the 3 stages is the integration of the new education. Now that is the purposeful life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is you living and integrating. Yes, you've learned a new tool. How are you going to authentically and genuinely integrate that into your language, your frequency, your life, your lifestyle? That's the transformational, the transformation, the butterfly opening up, right?
Yeah.
So clarity to me is all of you've got to have all of it. I mean, we could go to the dictionary and I can read what it says. However, for me, it's awareness. It's that clarity and that education. And then it's the transformation and having the tools, the how-tos in the moment to be able to self-regulate and to show up how you want to be. Now, there's a caveat in this, Jay, that I have witnessed, I have done, I have seen, I have taught. I am going to, and again, I talked to this when we first started, it's got to be a practice. So who you are and how you're showing up, you got to figure that out. That's the clarity. You got to figure that out and you've got to practice it. You've got to integrate it into your life.
Yeah.
And then when you choose to show up purposeful, authentic, and genuine to you, inside job, then the person that you are exchanging with, conversating with, if you are choosing to show up with compassion and love and an open, nurturing heart, with respect to yourself. I'm not saying there's not boundaries here because that's really important. I talk about that as well. You show up that you know the best that you can. And that person has their own triggers. You just know, hey, I showed up in love. This isn't on me. This is you, right? So it's the basis. That clarity is the basis to all of that. And deciding and getting really clear on who you are and how you're showing up. And the big fat permission slip that we were talking about earlier today. Guess what? If it doesn't work, you don't have to. You don't have to. There's this funny story, and I hope I don't butcher it up, but I gotta tell you this. So there's, I don't know, tradition. There's some deep-seated tradition that I love, and I'm a product of an adoption kid. So when I had my children, family tradition has always been really important to me. And there's this story that I had heard, and it goes along with the theory and the thought of, well, that's how we've always done it, kind of thing. So there's 3 generations of wives and moms and daughters in the kitchen, and they're cooking, I think it's a ham dinner or something like that. And there's the daughter, the mom, and grandma and great grandma, and the daughters, they're in daughter's house in the kitchen, right? And she's putting the pan, she had to cut the edges off the pan and put it cut the edges off the ham and put it in the pan. And great grandma looks at her and she says, well, why are you cutting the ends off the ham? And mom says, because that's what grandma taught me. And grandma said, great grandma, that's what you taught me, because that's what we've always done. And she said, I just did that because it wouldn't fit in the pan. Right? How did that sink in?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. The context of things. That's
right?
Yes.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
Yes.
Our happy family got that. Our happy family got that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, just and again, to go back to what you're saying, being, compassionately curious.
CCs, compassionate curiosity, the CCs in life. Yeah.
Like if you understand that context, you will understand the reason behind that, and again, that's something to show, or in this case, to ask those questions, or to be curious enough, to go a little bit deeper. I want to go just a little tad deeper around what you said, awareness, because I think that's wonderful. Awareness, clarity, transformation. I mean, that's a wonderful. I'm a design thinker, so that really helps with me.
3 stages, babe. That's it. 3 stages of transformation.
How do I become aware? I know that's like $1 million question, right? If we all knew that, but I mean, like, how do we become aware?
Great question. So true. So let's look at the contrast.
Yeah.
Love, fear. Denial, love. If we're walking through life, which thousands of the world is, in denial, in workaholicism, in avoidance, in, oh no, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't feel right. That the awareness is, I do feel fear, and that's okay. I do feel love, and that's okay. I have had the awareness that that doesn't feel right to me, or I'm
Mm.
showing up in a manner that is not right for me.
Mhm.
In that bubble, that's the awareness. There's a light bulb that goes on that says, yeah, that's not working for me anymore.
Yeah.
And it's going to scare me. It could scare me like a
Mhm.
lot,
Mhm.
depending on what the change is or the evolutional process is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it anyways. And
Yeah.
that's living a purposeful life. That's living in resilience. And that's walking your talk and moving forward.
Yeah.
And for those of you in the leadership, and if the example, I know, baby, I know, I got it. Look at the example.
Yes.
Look at the example. For me, leadership could be a child on the playground standing up for somebody else, standing up for their purpose, standing up for something that is going on. That's a leader.
Yeah.
That's somebody taking the stand, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. There's this beautiful story I was reading about, and it's just so powerful. There was a teacher, and it goes along with this. It's just so powerful. There was a teacher, and there was a duck or something in the class, and he said, if the duck gets loose out of the cage or something like that, like loose in the room, do not pick up the duck. Nothing, no, under any circumstance, do not pick up the duck. Now think about this. This could be children. This could be advocating for anything. The duck gets loose. Out of 30 kids, 2 ran after the duck. Now, remember what the professor said, the professor said, under any circumstances, do not pick up the duck. Those 2 out of the how many went after the duck and picked up the duck. The teacher came back and said, you are now suspended. I told you, do not pick up the duck. They did it anyways. And as they're walking out of the room, he says, and you know what? You did the right thing. Even though you're making the hard choices, you make the hard choices going through doing the right thing, no matter what. Do the right thing, even though if there's consequences or circumstances, right? Do the right thing that's authentic and genuine to you.
Yeah. I
may have butchered that story a little bit, but you get the gist.
No, I mean, you get the gist, because I think to your point, doing the right thing is going to take, at times, faith, stepping out.
Courage.
Courage is going to take bravery, and as you mentioned, trying to get my thoughts here together, it'll probably come back to me. But as you mentioned in that story, again, oh yes, when you said that we will be scared when we're trying something, like when we have to now face, our fears, right? And I think we can probably say you will be scared, and that's and happy family, that's part of it, right?
And I'd like to say, Jay, too, excitement and fear, the body doesn't really know. Doesn't know the difference. So how about we play a little game with that nervous system?
Yeah.
And say, you know what? Let's jump in the mud puddle. Let's do this. I am thankful. I am appreciative. I am excited for this opportunity to lean in, whatever that is.
Yes.
Change the language, change the frequency, change the dialogue and the narrative that you have. Oh, there's the awareness. It's coming up. Yeah. I'm excited. I get a new, I get to do a new thing. I get to learn a new thing. And that is a higher vibration.
Your language starts to change. I don't have to do this. I get to do this.
I get to do this, right? Like at the beginning when you asked about my whys, and it was the why is that happening to me? Why is that happening to me? No, I get to do life on my terms. So do you.
Do life. Yes. I get to do
life. I get to be life on my terms, authentic and genuine for myself. And then I can make the choices on other people that I'm, the big, huge thought leaders, because
Mhm.
now I'm coming from a purpose of myself,
Yes.
a purposeful life of myself. And then
Mhm.
I get to take on all these little nuggets that a leadership role.
Mhm.
I get to learn all these things and say, is that part of my transformation? Do I want to integrate that
Yeah.
into my life?
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
the analogy trying on hats. You
Mhm.
can go in, you put a hat on this way, put it on this way, put it on this way, put it on backwards.
Mhm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks cute, sometimes it's too small, sometimes it's too big.
Mhm.
The analogy of life, right?
Yeah,
Try
totally.
on the hats.
Try on the
Try
hat.
them on.
Try 'em on.
Try
Um,
them on.
One thing you mentioned, and when you talked about leadership, and this is why I got so excited, because I love leadership. To your point, I think leadership it's a choice. I don't think it's a title.
Mm.
Because when we
Say that
think
again, Jay. That was super
yeah,
juicy.
leadership is a choice, not a title. You know, because when we think about leadership, it's it comes in all different shapes and sizes, right?
Mm.
It comes in all different shapes and sizes. And as you mentioned this, the process of clarity, right? Of going through this awareness, which is so key. I love that awareness because awareness, one thing I have matured in is the word acceptance. Because I
Mm.
think when you are going through different things, right? When you have the power to accept, I'm hurting. Your
Mm.
awareness now comes like, I'm hurting. Allow me to get some clarity, right? Allow me to now, I have accept the fact that I'm hurting. I have accept the fact that I'm frustrated. I have accept the fact I'm broken. All these things. It doesn't mean you stay there. I just want to say happy family. It doesn't mean you stay there, but it
Get
is
out
the
as fast
knowledge.
as you can. Get
Yes,
out. It's a
it's the
burning
knowledge
house.
that,
Get out.
I got to get out. The house is on fire.
It is, baby. No.
I got to go. I got to go. I got to go.
And I'm going
Um,
to replace it with love and compassion.
yes, yes, yes. So my question was, as leaders, how in your how would you define it, or in your ways of thinking about it, how do we cultivate that type of atmosphere with our teams, with our
Oh,
families? And I know we mentioned it with the being example, right?
oh,
Understand examples, right?
right.
But if we had to go a little bit deeper into it, how do we cultivate that?
Oh, I'm going to give it to you right here, right now.
Come on, come on,
Happy
come on.
family, you ready for this? Get your paper out. This is my
Woo-wee.
secret. This is what I teach, but I'm giving it to service right here, right now. It is the personal code of conduct.
Mm,
You create your culture within yourself, within an environment, education, leadership at work, whatever that looks like. If you are the leader, so for example, if we're going to do leadership in the work environment, but you can also do leadership in your home environment. Which one would you like me to do?
let's go with the home.
Okay, home. Husband and wife, whatever that engagement looks like. If it's
Mhm,
single parent, if it's multiple parents, whatever that is, sit down with a piece of paper and you're going to get clear on your personal code of conduct.
mm,
This is your why. This is your value system. What does
mhm.
love look like? How
Yeah,
are we going to be an example of love? It's like your mission statement.
yeah, yeah.
Your mission statement. And when I'm teaching live or online, we do a play on words, kind of like act now, right? Act
Mhm,
now, it's forward moving. It's my three phases of transformation.
mhm,
Find your superpower. Like what was mine? I think it was life sparkle. So I created my personal code of conduct, defining it as my life sparkle. So with
mm,
life sparkle, I would write out, let me see. I would write out, so you could do your last name and you
mhm,
could figure out your personal code of conduct based on adjectives that describe your culture, how you're
mm,
going to show up.
mm,
So if
mm,
I have my life sparkle, I'll just do life like this. So whoever's listening in the happy family, Jay, if you take your last name or you
mhm.
take life sparkle, I'm just
Yeah,
LIFE, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then, yeah. this is creating the culture. And then you stand by this culture. You stand by this personal code of conduct. Now, do things ebb and flow? Yes. Do things evolve and change? Yes, absolutely. And that is okay. There is a strong basis of value, though. And that's what you show up as. Love. One of my biggest ones for me, I always want to show up in love. I want to be loved. I want to show love. Loving, loved, loves, all of that, right? With boundaries. Integrity.
Yeah, come on with it. Come on with it.
Integrity. So love. So this is my life, or my life here. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to get really clear on your personal code of conduct. Your question was, how do I, as a leader, teach and get clear on that mission statement, that personal code of conduct? You got to sit down and you got to get clear. You got to look at these adjectives and values. You know, there's value behind the actions, but there's adjectives that describe that. So if you want to have a play on word, you could use gratitude. You could even do happyhood. You've done a little bit of that in what the
agape.
Yes, that. So take that and use that for your start, like your mission statement. It could be happyhood, and then you go in and you say, here's my mission statement. This is my personal code of conduct. This is the culture that we are standing up and in and being. If we sway, we hold one another respectfully, lovingly accountable, not enabling. Not drama. None of that. My tribe, my culture holds space. They don't fix it. They don't fix me. They hold space. They provide a safe space where we can have that conversation. Sue, it seems like, you know what? I know you always want to show up in love. There's something sticky here. It doesn't quite feel aligned. Do you want to have a conversation? Is there something you need to air out? I'll be like, yes, thank you. This happened. I got to get it out. You know, providing that safe space to do that. Now, as the leader in a family, in work, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a culture, right? There's got to be that check-in and that conversation. Hey, family, happy family. How are we showing up today?
Yes.
Are you in resentment? Or are you in love? Are you leaning in? Are you aware? Or are you in denial? And it's that contrast. And you know what, Jay? I'm sure you've heard this before. And I know that I have walked the talk and I've heard this before. But humans, we lovely, beautiful humans, make life so hard. We have this mentality that if it's not hard, then it's not right. It's that easy button. Easy button. It should be in alignment. It should be when your life becomes that authentic and genuine stream of self, stream of purpose of you. Things are going to start happening in your external world and internal world to then show to you that you are in alignment. By that, I mean, you're going to have experiences, your external world and internal experiences, that's going to back up your code of conduct, back up how you're showing up. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is. For me, good, bad, or indifferent, because you're going to learn either way. Right? You're going to learn either way. So trusting in those experiences of who that new self is, and creating an environment, a culture of people, family around you, community of like-minded that aren't going to enable you. And you're going to create that trust and that experience within yourself. And that, again, is living on purpose.
Come on, sister.
Right?
Yes. Happy family. Happy Hood the podcast. Again, we are with Sue Lundquist, and this is such a delight. I told you this is going to be wonderful. I told you that we're going to really dive deep into some really, really great tools and how-tos, right? How to live on purpose, how to finish what you start. And Sue, I would love for you to kind of talk about things that you currently do, such as the Gratitude Cafe.
Thank
You know, definitely taking a moment to promote certain things you have going on. I know you have a course online, Craziness to Clarity. So just talk to us a little bit about again certain things you have going on. Excuse me.
Wonderful. Thank you. And you know what, Jay, I want to make sure that we love on the audience and yourself. I
Yeah.
want to recap to
Yeah.
make sure that these nuggets that we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about really go in your beautiful head. We talked about awareness, and we talked about clarity, and we talked about transformation and the difference between unaware and aware, right? And
Mm-hmm.
creating that
Mm-hmm.
clarity in your life and walking the talk,
Yeah.
being the leader, being the example, walking in purpose, that whole what is the purpose of my life? It's
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
love you and to create that clarity
Mm-hmm.
and education and bring that all into you. I gave you some great superpower tips, the crazy, the CCs in life, compassionate
Mm-hmm.
curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to offer, take the word try out of your vocabulary. Just don't use it.
Take it
It
out.
forces you into so much clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it goes, oh, I'll try to show you more compassion. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll try to take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, take the
Yeah.
word try out of your vocabulary. Get
Mm-hmm.
clear on who you are, how you're showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Use that culture, that personal code of conduct. If you don't, that this, finding
Mm-hmm.
your life sparkle, finding your happy hood, finding
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
culture that you want to do. This is a really powerful tip.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Very.
clear. It's so powerful. So
Very.
powerful. It's your personal mission statement, your
Mm-hmm.
personal code of conduct, family, entrepreneur, business. I've had people do that in business. So they would take like Happy Hood as their company name,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be their culture and their mission statement, and
Yeah.
they'd stick it up on the wall. It's so powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
if alluding and going back to us as humans, we focus on the negative so much.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there going, well, I don't know what is a positive adjective to describe my mission statement, go to the negative that you think about. You know you don't want fear.
Yeah.
You know you don't
What's the
want,
opposite? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Go to
Mhm.
that negative and go, well, I know I don't want that. Well, what's
Yeah.
its positive?
Mm.
Get out the thesaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Start getting creative and look at that. And
Yeah.
then really leaning into it and see if it
Lean in.
feels authentic and genuine to you. And then change it if it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, thank you. So my
Beautiful,
craziness
beautiful.
declared. Did I recap good?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay. And leaders, my loves, it could be the playground to the penthouse.
Mm.
You show up, right? You
Mhm.
show up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your choice. You've got a big
Yeah.
fat permission slip to do that. Now you have the how-tos. So my craziness to clarity is just that. I walk the talk. I wanted, actually, I don't like using that word wanted because it's kind of a lower vibration. It's sticky. I desire and desired an abundant life, like
Mhm.
you. You want an abundant life, right?
Mhm.
And like you, I desired that abundant life. So I sought out, researched, created real-time, real-life self-regulating tools and new habituations, new habits
Mhm.
that I can sustain my abundant life. And not only sustain for myself, look at the generations you are changing.
Yes.
The
Yes.
buck stops here. Remember we talked
Mhm.
about that?
Mhm. Yeah.
The buck stops here. And the way you show up, you teach people how to treat you, and you're also being the example.
Mm-hmm.
You really are. So the craziness to clarity walks you through some fundamental steps like that. There's also the personal code of conduct where I walk you through that as well. Now that our beautiful world is opening up, I'm going to continue teaching in person. And it's important that I articulate, I'm not a coach, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
I teach, I inspire, I advocate.
Mm-hmm.
You get out that piece of paper, you become accountable and responsible, and I got your back.
Yeah.
I got you with so much love, not enabling,
Mm-hmm.
but inspiring, and a big fat permission slip. Yes,
let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about that.
Oh, and we can't forget about gratitude, love. We
No,
cannot.
we can't.
That practice. We talked about at the beginning of the interview. We talked about having a practice in place before shiitake hits the fan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gratitude and the breath work has got to be the number one things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Finding gratitude. Oh, another superpower tip. The moment you are waking up, the second you feel yourself waking up, go right into gratitude. Ah, I have my breath. I'm so thankful.
Yes, come on.
And hear this.
Come on.
The foot that you put down first is the right foot, not the left. It is the right foot, the right intention of how you're showing up, the right shoe, not the left shoe, the right shoe. So you are already setting the intention and the frequency of showing up the right way for you, authentic and genuine.
Yes, yes. Come on, happy family. Come on. Come on. Sue, where can people contact you?
Oh, thank you so much. ClarityWithSue.com. Just go to
ClarityWithSue.com.
ClarityWithSue.com. You can get all the information there, all the social media links, listen to the podcast. Well, first I'm live on international radio, and then we turn it over to the podcast world. So if you want to join me live, you can join me on 11:50 a.m. You'll get all the information on ClarityWithSue.com. And then simultaneously, while we're live on terrestrial radio, we're also streaming live on YouTube. So you can see us live and having a good time and goofing off, and then it goes off to the podcast world. But if you go to the podcast world, I want a 5-star rating. Give me some love.
Yes, give us.
I mean, come on.
She is. I mean, you have really, really provided us with a lot of great things to chew on, to really allow us to live a purpose life and to finish what we start. And the last question, how would you define, like, what does it mean to you to finish what you start?
The first word that came up for me was vulnerability and honesty. Because you can't finish what you started. One, if that honesty, that awareness, that clarity.
Yes.
And you know what? If you're in the middle of finishing what you started or not, fail fast. Tear that Band-Aid off as fast as you can. There is no shame in that.
No.
Fail fast. And that failure, you're learning either way, my loves.
Hashtag growth mindset.
So have the CCs in life.
Yes. Yes. Have the CCs in life. Have you had your daily CCs?
Have you had your daily CCs? I see a
that.
shirt coming.
Yes. Happy family. I would like to thank our guest, Sue Lundquist, for coming to the neighborhood. You have provided so much information, so much just well-rounded gratitude, tools to help us. And happy family. Hey, do me a favor, be strong and know that you was created for greatness. And no matter what life brings you, always remember to love God, love self, love your neighbor. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray. And until next time, be blessed. Yes, love.
I'm the second favorite neighbor.
Yes, you are. You are now our neighbor.
I love it.